Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Table Talk. I'm your host, Jake Combs, and today we're going to be looking at the Warhammer 40k Crusade Containment Mission Pack and the Book 1 of Rising Tide Warzone Octarius. Now, when this was first announced, I definitely was looking forward to this one just because of the fact that with Kill Team Octarius, we already had the terrain for that battle zone. So, it made sense to, want to do a campaign book for that same area. So that way, things are kind of matching up and going with that. But also, I've also been a big fan of Tyranids, and it looks like with both of these, you're definitely going to have some, a lot more Tyranid related things going on. Now, I suspect, and I haven't dug too deeply into the Warzone books yet, but I suspect that these are going to be very similar to like Psychic Awakening that happened like last year or the year before. With the War of the Spider and things like that. So, as this goes on, we're going to see new rules get added, new, characters, or bring back some old characters with some new abilities, things like that, some points adjustments, and giving, whole new narrative campaigns to play. So we're going to go ahead and open up Warzone Octarius. So, we're definitely going to get a lot of lore in here because this is a overall campaign. And then by page 38, we actually get to the campaign rules after all of the fluff and lore that's in there. And then with this, with one of the campaigns, again, the art is very heavy on the Tyranids, which definitely leads me to believe that maybe the intention is that you're going to be playing against the Tyranids, or with the Tyranids, depending on which side you're playing. Pretty frequently, as far as like sticking more to the lore, but with those campaigns, the campaign rules themselves only last to page 51, and then we go into the updated army rules. So, right there, I personally was expecting a lot more campaign stuff, not just, the 13 pages we got. It's definitely not a knock on the book by far, but with a Warzone Octarius book, I was expecting a lot more campaign related stuff. So the fact that the mission pack containment, kind of ties into this, I'm guessing that that's where we're going to see the rest of those types of things, but that's more of a Crusade game type than just a narrative campaign. Now, for the army rules section, we start off with Cadia, which Cadia definitely has gotten some love recently with the updated models and upgrade sprue. And then we've also actually got some Kill Team Strike Force in here as well. Specifically is a Death Watch army composed of Kill Team specialists. I was hoping when I saw that it said Kill Team Strike Force that it was gonna, give us some more stuff to go with Kills on Octarius. Now we also have fortifications in here, like the Sky Shield landing pad, Aegis defense line, Fortress Redemption, Void Seal generator, Bastion. Then we go to Appendix Inquisition, which the picture of the Inquisitor that's there is definitely one of my favorite Inquisitor models that they've come out with, which I believe came out with War of the Spider. So it's Lord Inquisitor Kyria Draxus, specifically, that I'm referring to. And then the classics, Inquisitor Graphics and Kodiaz are in there as well. And we also have Eisenhorn is in here, which he is the only Inquisitor model that I actually own, and absolutely love the Inquisitor, well, the Eisenhorn specific books and the spin-off Ravenor and the new spin-off Beckwin are absolutely fantastic. I love those books. They're some of my favorite 40K novels I've ever read. Basically second to the Gonsko series, which conveniently, I mean, they do have the same authors, so that doesn't surprise me. But I definitely had a lot of fun painting the Eisenhorn model, and it's definitely worth getting if you can. I don't believe they're still in production, but just be aware that it is a resin model, so it's going to be painted an entirely different way as you would as far as like prep and undercoats and things like that compared to the normal plastic models that you would get. All right, and then next is Leviathan, and judging by the picture, this is going to be our Tyranids. Yeah, we got Hive Minds, Appendix Tyranids, Hive Fleet Psychic Powers. Actually, let's go ahead and look back at the Hive Fleet Psychic Powers. So we have 7 that I count. One of them is Unstoppable Hunger, which I believe some of these are still around, but these just might be a rewording for this or for future games, and or they may just be entirely new. They may have taken some away. I haven't played Tyranids since honestly since Tau first came out. I believe that was like 3rd or 4th edition of 40K, and so it definitely has been a long time since I've reviewed their psychic powers and what they have. But we also have Synaptic Lure, Hive Nexus, Lurking Maws, Death Shriek, and Symbiostorm. Now it looks like each one of these is tied to kind of a like a general subfaction that you would pick, or specifically your Hive Fleet. So depending on which Hive Fleet you pick, that's going to be your power that you get related to it. Like Leviathan gets Hive Nexus, Hydra is Death Shriek, things like that. And then we go into a gorgeous photo of Tyranids fighting the orcs. And then we go into our Crusade rules, which does have a Khorne army facing against the Guard. Now, another thing that really surprised me about this book is that with Octarius, at least Kill Team specifically, focusing so much on the fight between Guard and the orcs, we got Guard in here with some new rules for the Cadians, but I honestly expected to see some more orc stuff in here to be used in regular 40K. Like, I don't remember if Kill Team had rules for using those models in 40K. I don't believe it did. Because that being my memory, I honestly expect to see those rules in this book to be used because it does take place here as well. Which leads me to believe either I'm mistaken and that there were rules in there, or that will probably come later. Now, if any of you guys know, please leave me a comment and tell me which one is the answer, because I'm definitely dying to know, and it's definitely going to be a little while before I'll have time to dig out the rule book and go through it again and see the status. Okay, so now we're on to the mission pack containment. Now we have this cool little double flap thing. I suppose the advantage to that is to help, like if you go to a certain mission, basically lift that over so that way, you're only seeing what you need to see. And you also have, this handy kind of stretchy bookmark so you don't actually lose your place in case you want something marked on a different page. Let's see. So specifically, this does take place on Octarius. So the first section is going over the Warzone itself. Then we go into a Planet Strike mission pack. Okay, so it looks like most of this is the Planet Strike mission itself. We go into the mission pack, the mission rules, the stratagems, agendas, battle traits, Planet Strike missions in an assault campaign, Planet Strike missions in general, then basic rules, actions, stratagems, reserves, terrain features, markers, and rare rules. So I forgot, it's been a little while since I looked at the last Crusade book that they did, and I forgot that it does include a slimmed down version of the rules. I also like the way that they did this binding. So, you can easily, turn it and leave it. It's not trying to fold the page back like some books would. With this, it naturally is lifting up. I'm not even holding it. And, the pages, also have a curve to them with this type of binding. But with this, it stays completely flat. So it's going to be a lot easier to refer to both pages as you play. And then, like right here, we have our Crusade missions. I love the action shot that they have with the Tyranids fighting in the background. Looks like the guard has been ambushed, kind of an enfilade, that got the, I can't remember what the smaller swarm guys are called, but, they're coming at them face on. They've got some of the tyrants behind them, coming behind their tanks, so definitely does not look like a good time for the guard. And we go through the different missions, mission maps as well. And then we go into basic rules, which is mostly orcs in the image. And then we also go into stratagems, which is orcs versus the Tyranid in the picture. We got some terrain features as well. Kitten, what are you doing? And then some common terrain features. Now, with the examples in here, I honestly expected to see the terrain that they did for Kill Team, instead of just the random terrain that they use that most people can still get a hold of separately. Now, I understand why they did that, so that way people can actually get it. But I still expected to see some of the Kill Team stuff in there since it does take place in the same field. But I don't believe I mentioned this is currently on pre-order this week and is available for purchase this Saturday. It was sent in advance by Games Workshop for the purpose of this video, and of course, like everything, as we've mentioned before, when anything that they send us, it guarantees that we will talk about it and share our opinion, but does not guarantee a specific opinion. So I wanted to say thank you to Games Workshop for sharing this with us. Thank you all for watching. Next week, we definitely are going to have some big unboxings for you, assuming that the package that we've been told will arrive quickly. But as far as what those items are, we're going to leave that as a surprise for next week. But definitely expect to see some big things next week. But other than that, again, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all next week. Good night.